There's a group of schools over the northwest side of the city, 6 different schools, as a matter of fact. They have a fundraiser coming up that we're going to be involved with, and it's time to give you all the details. So we are here at Moore Elementary, and we're going to be talking about a really cool event that's coming up in just a couple of weeks with a person we've known for quite some time here. Todd Jacobus is his name. And Todd, you are the board president of the Hoover Meredith Learning Community Foundation. That is a mouthful. What is that all about?
The Hoover Meredith Learning Community Foundation is to the academic programs at 6 area Northwest Des Moines schools as the booster program is to the athletic department. So we raise money for learning enhancement grants to support Hoover High School, Meredith Middle School, Moore, Hillis, Samuelson, and Monroe Elementary Schools.
And so how many students are we talking? That's 6 different schools. That's a lot of kids.
Yeah, there's about 4,000. We're talking 4,000 students at those 6 schools.
And what are these grants that you're making available? What are they geared for?
Really, they're geared to complement and kind of incentivize teachers to provide a little bit more than what they're able to do with what the district gives them for funds. So it's everything that our teachers need in order to give a good quality product to our students.
Okay, well, I'm sure they need a lot of things, and one of the ways they're going to do something to try to raise some money for this is a first-time event that's coming up toward the end of February.
Outstanding! It's going to be the first annual Husky Soiree. It's taking place on the February 29th, Saturday, last day of February, starting at 5:30 at the Franklin Junior High Event Center.
All right, so what can we expect at this event?
You can expect a really nice meal. You can expect to have a silent auction that'll be taking place leading up to the main event, which is an auction. Some jazz bands playing. Some of our alumni are coming back to play. We've got student orchestras and student jazz band performing. There's a lot of activities scheduled for that evening. That
is awesome. Now, because you're wondering what some of the money is being used for, we found a couple of teachers here at Moore Elementary. We're to find out how they use some of the funds. So we're going to swing around here, and it's Senora Dan. We're going to be visiting with her. And you had a grant last fall. Tell everybody what it was like.
Well, this is my first year at Moore, and I had to buy a lot of stuff for our Spanish program. There were a lot of things that were not already part of the curriculum that I wanted to expand upon. So my focus was on Spanish inquiry. I wanted kids to be able to take what they were interested in and expand upon it. So one of their favorite things is the Spanish-English dictionaries. So I bought a bunch of those. They love the books in Spanish, so when I have kids who are really interested in animals, they can read about animals in Spanish. And then I also have books in English about different people who are Spanish-speaking leaders in the community and across and around the world.
Now, what kind of difference did you see made with the kids when they had access to these type of books?
Well, this and the other one that I have, which is a game that they absolutely love. Once they finish with the required task, they have access to all of these materials. And so some of my kids who maybe didn't want to do the required task, as soon as they see the preferred activities come out, they start working really hard and then they jump in. And the kids who are just motivated anyway, they do what they're supposed to, and now they can expand upon what they already know.
Let's go back to the game that you had here. What did you have out here? What is this now?
This is a pirinola. It's like a dreidel. You spin it, and then there are blocks that are out, and they put the blocks in, they pick up the blocks, they take them based on what it says, and this will motivate pretty much any child to finish the task. Then as soon as they're done, they come over to my cart, they find the box that has all of their materials in it, and then they can pull that off. And it is so fun to hear them using Spanish spontaneously and stuff that they've taught themselves.
And so you think that the grant and being able to get all these materials was a night and day difference in the way the learning process worked?
Yes, it has done wonders for the kids. And the great thing is I've been able to use it across all grade levels. I teach kindergarten through 5th grade, and so some of these things I'm introducing in kindergarten, and then they'll be able to use it all the way through. So these materials have touched all of the kids at this school.
Isn't that amazing? And that's just one of the grants that we're talking about. So thank you so much for telling us about this. Now, do I just spin this here? Is that what it is? Okay, and so what does that mean?
So we need to have some out, and it would be toma dos. So you go like this. Toma dos, uno, dos.
Okay,
Perfecto.
toma, I figured out two. That's dos,
Toma
right?
dos,
Okay,
muy
okay.
bien.
All right.
Muy bien.
Yeah, okay. Let's go over and talk to Mrs. Coleman is over here. Now, Mrs. Coleman is a professional at getting these grants, and she's done some really cool things. Mrs. Coleman, how are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Now, you have done this a couple of different times, and you've applied some of these grant monies that you received in some real unique ways. We're going to talk about this in a second, but talk about the shed that you had something to do with, which was really cool.
So you may look outside our school and notice that we have a huge garden. And we had a shed to begin with, but it was kind of falling apart. It was left over from before we were at school. And so we were able to get money to get a new shed and have organization so that the kids can access the tools and they can organize them themselves and be more independent outside.
How neat is that? And so that was just, that's a little out of the box thinking for one of these grants, but that worked. But the latest one that you had involved money and time and how kids utilize that. Explain how that all worked. The money, for example, how did that work?
Well, so kids don't really see money like this anymore.
Okay.
But it is still a state requirement and a state standard. So having manipulatives and the ability to let them practice counting it and use it in a store and earn money has really helped them learn this skill and also be able to apply it in real world contexts. Because that's one of the key things about math these days is we want kids to be able to take it out in the world and use it. And we also had this wonderful clock.
Now, this is really interesting. Hang on just a second. Wait till you hear how this all works, because I did not realize that the concept of how a big hand and a little hand work was foreign to some youngsters.
Well, you have to remember, second graders now are looking at phones, right? They're looking at digital clocks.
Sure.
And this is an analog clock, but it's still something they need to know. So a lot of kids were thinking that when this hand moves, this hand stays still. But in fact, what they need to understand is that they move in relation to each other. And so having clocks that actually move in that way has helped us with a lot of misconceptions and really improved our scores in that area.
So they now realize why the little hand is in between the two numbers when
Yes.
before they just couldn't quite figure that out.
And it was really confusing, but now they get it really quick.
And having something like this that they can physically hold and see how it works makes a difference.
Oh, and it's so much more concrete because we have to remember they're 7 and 8. They need to feel it and touch it and be with the math.
Right. So this is making, again, a world of difference in what is going on with this. But you need to raise some money. Thank you, Mrs. Coleman. We appreciate that. But we need to raise some money, and that's what we're going to do at the end of February. It's the 29th, and we're going to go back and visit with our buddy Todd again, Todd Jacobus. This is going to be a cool event. Tell everybody what it is and where it's going to be at.
Okay, it's the February 29th. It's at Franklin Junior High Event Center, which is, everybody knows that's an old junior high, closed several years ago. It's been rejuvenated. It's a beautiful facility, and that's where we've decided to do our first annual.
All right, this is going to be fun. We're going to be there with bells on. We're going to have some fun. I've known this guy a long time, so hopefully you don't get in too much trouble, right, Todd?
That's right. That's right.
It's going to be a great time. Hopefully you can come out. Now, people want to get information about this. Where's the best place to get information?
The best place is to come to either our Facebook page, Hoover Meredith Learning Community Foundation, or our website, hmlcf.org.
Wonderful. All right, we're going to raise a lot of money here, Todd. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, Todd Jacobus, an outstanding individual. I've known this guy for years. So this is a big event, the first time they're doing this, and it's just going to grow from here. So again, Hoover Meredith Learning Community Foundation is what we're talking about, who put this on. So get some money, raise some money, get your seat. They have tables available too, so you can just get a whole group of tables. Think about this, one table could supply a grant for a school, for an entire classroom. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's great.
Well done.
I love
February
that,
the 29th, and we'll be there. We'll help host the event and have some fun. That's the whole idea.
Be with the math. That was my favorite takeaway.
That's your biggest takeaway.
Be with the math. Be with the math.